Hello and welcome to our second COVID-19 market update with Thomas Caldwell. Tom, today is April 15th, 2020, and it's about 2 weeks since our last market update. And it's been about 4 weeks since everyone started self-isolating and social distancing. Been a lot of questions about markets and market timing. Now, investors want to know, when is the right time to return to the markets, and what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, you can't separate markets from COVID, and that's all about timing. We've gone through the phase now where we've bought time. We've cut to some degree the spread by social isolating, as you say, that we sort of stop that. That's the first phase, that's the first defense, and it seems to be arcing over a little bit. That's bought us time to cut the spread and to come up with better solutions, that is in treatment and vaccines, etc. So that's the next phase. The cost to this economically is the economy is moving down pretty smartly because everything is literally stopped. Markets though, financial markets always look 6 months ahead. They're always ahead of the curve. Okay, this problem is going to get solved. We don't know exactly the timing, whether it be 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 2 months. I suspect sooner than later, but it will get solved. And when it does, markets will start to return to whatever we perceive as normal. It'll be a different normal, by the way. But if you look at markets in the last week or so, they've had a pretty smart recovery. They've covered almost half the losses in many of the securities that have come down. Not all of them. Some of them have got fundamental problems like the cruise industry, airlines, energy, etc. But basically, if you're looking at the market, I always look at it in a 5-year, 10-year time frame. I always think long term, despite my gray hair or white hair. But I do think that markets will improve once we get through this. But markets are trying to improve now because they're starting to see glimmers of light coming through the darkness. And I'm inclined to think we're going to see a market. We might have 1 or 2 surprises here, but basically I don't think the timing is far off even right now.
Investors are worried about their investments, especially their retirement investments. Should they be worried?
Well, if you're going to need the money this year, then you probably should be worried because you had a pullback in the asset value. But in actual fact, retirement is money spent over a period of time. You're going to spend it over the next 5 to 10 years or whatever. So you can accommodate 20% swings in a market and make that up in pretty short order. So I wouldn't get yourself too concerned if your time horizon is a 5-year, 10-year time horizon. I think markets will improve from these levels. We're going to have a lot more efficient economy when we come out of this because we're starting to see what we need and what we don't need in office space, etc. So as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't become too angst on a short-term basis. This happens in markets. This is a new thing, but this happens. It will get resolved and markets will improve.
Thank you so much. Stay safe and healthy.